First though, let's start with a story of a Beeston man who's taken on the task of climbing Mount Snowdon with 20 kilograms of rocks and water on his back to raise money for an arthritis charity. The reason he's doing it is because his arthritis has made it almost impossible for him to exercise for about 6 years. But James Boucher wants to help others going through what he's been through. And James is here now to tell us how it's all going. James, thanks for coming in. So before we get on to the actual challenge, how long have you had arthritis? How long have you been suffering with it?
About 6 years. So I used to be a fairly keen whitewater kayaker, me and a group of others and my wife, and we'd go all around the country anywhere there was water and kayak down to some waterfalls. And then realised after an amount of time that I had a permanent pain in my wrists and my fingers, and then it spread to my elbows, and then I started, went to the doctor, started trying to get a diagnosis, and this was about 6 years ago, and they couldn't really work out what to do with me and what was wrong with me. So I let it go for a bit. They gave me some pain meds, which I just didn't really get on with. And then, okay, I'll think about it again next year, and it carried on getting worse. And then COVID happened, and nothing really got done for a number of years. And then I had a little girl, and then last year it was getting so bad that it really needed to be sorted. So I went back down the GP route and got connected to a really good doctor, really good team, and they've gave me a diagnosis and have been sorting me out since. So the last year has been on the way up, but the few before were definitely on the way down.
Can I ask how old you are as well?
I'm 35.
Okay, so I mean not old at all.
No, not at all, not really.
'Cause that's always the misconception, I should say. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how you're on the way up? So how's that been? What's that been through?
That's been the last year of trying a handful of different medications and seeing how I get on with them. Tried one, it worked all right for a good few months, and then kind of just stopped working. Tried another one and couldn't get past the side effects, so I only had that for a few months. And then that made me eligible for a third type, a biologic it's called, which I still don't understand at all how it works, but it's one injection every 2 weeks and no side effects. And over the last 6 months nearly, it's reversed pretty much all the symptoms and put me back to how I was when I was about 30, which has been amazing.
So you don't need to know how it works?
Pretty much, as long as it just keep taking it.
Do you know what's caused it? Have you been told what's...
A mix of unfortunate genetics and probably a waterborne disease, which I caught 5-6 years ago kayaking,
right, okay.
Which only gave me a couple of weeks of trouble, but then triggered an autoimmune response, which has never stopped. So it's an autoimmune condition. And then my joints, for whatever reason, attack themselves because they've got that constant autoimmune battle, and that's what the medication does. It turns down that response.
Okay, so that's kind of the condition. It's great to hear you're recovering, but that's the reason you want to do this. Why are you putting rocks in your back? That was the first question I had when I saw this.
The reason I put on the Just Giving is because I spent the last handful of years feeling like I'm carrying a bag of rocks, and that's kind of true, but really it's because it's silly. It's
definitely silly.
It makes it interesting, hopefully, and the point of the challenge is to make people interested enough to want to donate or get involved. So yeah, having something attention-grabbing like I'm carrying a sack full of rocks up a mountain seems to be working. It
absolutely did work. Like I say, it was the first thing I noticed. I was like, why? That's the first question we got there. So how was the training going? You're doing it in September.
Yes, so I've started about a month ago, and the last couple of years I really haven't been able to do very much intensive exercise at all. That's my little dog Quaver there, so he gets a walk for a few hours a day, and that's been about it. And I used to be very keen on climbing hills, on running, on doing all sorts of different stuff. So I'm starting to work out how to get back into that. Right. But it's going well. Quaver's not impressed. No, he's had a very lazy few years. Yeah, I'm training him as much as I'm training me at the moment.
How can we get involved and how can we support you?
Donations are always fantastic, of course. There's a Just Giving page and the numbers ticking up on that. I am going to be carrying a pile of rocks, so if you want to send me a rock painted, put a message on it, put a silly pattern on it, that's what some of my friends are doing. That would be grand as well.
How do we do that? How do we send it to you?
Email me.
Postman everywhere.
Like snowdon@jboucher.co.uk. I'll get that email and get a rock to me somehow. And the Just Giving is www.jamesrocksnowdon.co.uk.
Fantastic.
I'll forward you to the page, so all the information's there.
Brilliant. Well, all the best.
Thank you.
You're doing it in September, so hopefully we can chat to you then.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Now it is time for your top story of the day. And